preamble has been only edited once. So second one was also unit for unity of the nation. That is this part has been replaced by unity and integrity of the nation. This is known as substitution. Substituted by this with effect from this. WF means with effect from. And what we are talking about, unity and integrity of the nation. Okay. Let's leave that side for now. You can view that side. That is a really wonderful side for understanding and exploring the Constitution of India and also comparison it with the other constitutions of the world. Okay. So what is dignity of the individual? This is a very vast concept. Like Supreme Court in many judgments also expanded the view of right to life, that is Article 21. Why? Because life is not just existence. Many people in India believe that life means breathing, or maybe just when you are alive, it is life. Life is much more beyond. Life is expression. Life is when you are given the opportunity to grow. Life is when you are able to live to the fullest. I know there are certain words which might sound like this all is a very much privilege, but in developed countries, life has a much more wider meaning than here in life in India. Here, we will discuss that thing later on. We will not go into that philosophical discourse right now, but in short, life is much more than just mere existence. Okay? That is when one is allowed to develop fully. That is life, according to most of the people and according to me also. I rarely subscribe to anyone's views, but sometimes when I read certain things from like uh, like writers from the past or present that resonates within my mind, I tell you also. Dignity of the individual means there should be no harm to his respect. He should not be hindered in any growth. He should not be disallowed to do certain things. Barring certain exceptions, there are, whenever we talk in political science that somebody has freedom, that freedom is qualified, not absolute. That is under certain obligations and restrictions. Okay. Unity and integrity of the nation. What is nation here? India. How a country and nation are different, we will discuss in political concept. A nation can also exist without a land. Nation has more to do with feelings of homogeneity and oneness, feeling of oneness that we are one people. Nation can exist also on paper, but a country or a state should have defined borders also. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Many people should ask this question. Write down if you thought this way. Why this date? And why 26th January has been allotted a specific date so that we can enforce the Constitution? And also, was the Constitution enforced on this date or on that date? Because it is written hereby adopt, enact, like we are enacting. How? There are certain parts of the Constitution which were enacted or enforced from the moment we adopted this, but 100% of the Constitution of India, every part, every aspect came into enforced on the day of 26th January 1950. Okay. Forgive me for forgetting certain things. I might sound silly sometimes because I am also learning and I am also trying to help the newer aspirants, because when I started reading about all these things, I had very less clue how to read all this. I never went for video lectures or coaching because I wanted always like you should study and understand. That is the best way. I will also encourage you to read and study as much as possible without anyone's help, including me. We are just here to guide you. Actually, you are the learners. We are just guiding you how to learn. Okay. Teaching has nothing to do with taking certain words and giving it to you. It is more like I am pointing certain directions where to look. Eventually, you will have to look and you will have to decide, is it worth looking? Many of the people might be preparing because of certain pressures. If you are preparing for due to certain pressures, leave this preparation, because this is a very beautiful preparation. Once you start studying all these things, you will realize you will be a much better individual. You would have much more clarity about your own self, not just the country and its political system. Why am I saying this? Because I also would like to let you know that while we are studying polity here in this channel, other subjects would be introduced as soon as possible, maybe by me or by any other faculty, but everything is connected. In UPSC preparation, I am taking all the exams, and in other exams, whatever you are preparing for, everything is connected. Do not consider any subject as in silos or in isolation. If you know how to connect economy with polity and history and geography, everything you can think as it as one. Everything is one science. Like most of the thinkers from the past say that if you understand one thing, not the another, you do not know anything, because you should know everything. Might sound silly, but you should know everything and you should be able to connect everything. Then only we would feel that we are on the right path. The union and its territory. Okay, this is part one. The union and its territory. This is the title of the part one. These are the articles. I think article 1 to 12, 11 would be here. Part 2 citizenship. Okay, so naming is just 1 to 4. I said now. I also forget many things. Okay, let's start with union and its territory. What is union? Why not a country? Why we are not terming it as a coalition, or as in the case of United States of America? Why not the United States of India? Why the word union? This has a very specific meaning, because we are not a federation. We are not a product of treaty between different constituent units who come together and say, let's create a nation. Our constituent assembly members decided that we should name India, that is Union of India, as a union. It should have a certain specific meaning, and it has. What it means? It is indestructible. Union is something which is one as a whole. Federation is something which has parts, and parts can come and leave. But in India, parts cannot leave. Who are the parts or constituents? The states. Also, we will discuss in the Article 12 that the states like Uttar Pradesh, that is, or you may call it as UP state, Maharashtra state, or Telangana state. The word state means here as a territory or a province, but the word state in political science definition is a different animal altogether. Okay, we will discuss that. Why we use the term union? Because by this, we want to make it very clear that we are not a product of many units coming together. We are one as a whole, but we have kept the administrative machinery as such. There would be certain different units in India on the basis of maybe language. Earlier, it was decided it would not be on language, it would be on geographical and certain things, but later on, certain states were made on basis of language. But later on, because as we develop further, certain things has to be stopped, because there are many languages in India, except those scheduled languages. Also many other languages are there, so we cannot have a state for every language, so we should stop somewhere. Okay, so Article 1, India, that is Bharat. shall be a union of states. In constitution or in any legal document, every word matters. Why not will be? Why not should be? Shall be. Shall means it 100% has to be this only. It cannot be changed in character. It will be a union, always be a union. Nobody can change it. This is basic structure of the constitution. Even a constitutional amendment can't term it as a federation of India or something else. It shall be a union. Shall means a legal obligation. Why? We will discuss that in political science concepts later, but understand this. Shall means 100% legal obligation that India shall always remain, has been, and shall always remain as a union. India, that is Bharat. Why two names? Why not one? Why we were not ready to accept it as only Bharat? Why India, that is Bharat? Recently, I watched certain video from Honorable Mr. Shashi Tharoor. He explained it in a very beautiful thing that why are we fighting over this name? I will tell this because he gave an answer which was the most beautiful answer according to me. We should never fight on the basis of names, on the basis of history. India is a very renowned name, as he quoted, as he said, India is a very renowned name. Why should we let go of the repute and association that the whole world has with this world India and forcibly call this as Bharat only? When we are speaking in English, we can call it as India. और जब हम हिंदी में बात करेंगे तो हम इसे भारत बोलेंगे. Very easy, quite easy. We should never fight on this whether it should be called as Bharat or India. Both are its name. When in Hindi we are speaking, Bharat is good. And Mr. Honorable Shashi Tharoor also said that why would others call it Bharat? Because that would be disrespect to our name. If your name is Bharat and I am a foreigner and I call it as Bharat or something like that, that would be disrespectful. So let the Hindi speaking people speak it as Bharat, and non Hindi or maybe who are not quite able to pronounce the word Bharat as it is, maybe I'm not also pronouncing it as good, they should call it as India. Okay, so we have two names but they mean the same thing. India, that is Bharat, essentially the same. Whatever the reason may be, you should call it as one, and it is one. Okay, I told you in the first video that this means it has been edited, and you will find this information in the footnotes when and by which amendment, constitution amendment, it has been edited. Okay, the states and the territories there shall be as specified in the first schedule. Why there are parts, schedules, provisions? Okay, so we'll discuss that later because we are not proceeding fast on these articles. I should first cover these articles at least up to 12 in this video. Later on in some other video, I will explain how like formatting of this constitution is done. First parts, which things, certain things are not to be inserted in parts, so the extra information shall be added in the schedules or schedules. Okay, the territory of India shall comprise the territory of the states, the union territories specified in the first schedule, and such other territories as may be acquired. Okay, I would let you know one thing also. The term the territory of India and the term Union of India are two different terms. When we use the term Union of India, we specifically mean the states that comprise the Indian Union. Okay, but when we use the territory of India, it is a wider expression because this also include all the territories which are under the command and control of Government of India. These are the union territories, and the territories which may be acquired or may have been acquired by military might or by political accession, maybe whatever you call it. If our country acquires certain territories, they come under the part of territory of India. So always remember The term this meaning the term the territory of India is a wider expression than the term Union of India. Okay, the Union territory specified in the schedule. Okay, okay, okay. This particular thing is trying to say that territory of India includes both territories of the states. What are the states? They exist as an independent unit. They have a government of their own. We have federalism. I will also discuss, is India a quasi federal? Also, in that thing, we will discuss how India is not a quasi federal but actually a federal country. Many political philosophers call it as quasi federal, but we have all the characteristics to be called it as a federal country. Such other territories as may be acquired. Okay, okay, okay. These are nothing to be discussed. Second, Parliament may by law admit into union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. Who has been given the power here? Why not the government? Why not the executive? I'll tell you one thing. In parliamentary system, government is powerful, but who is more powerful? Parliament. Parliament creates a system of checks and balances for the government. Government is just an executive body, but ultimately government shall justify its actions on the floor of the house, both houses of parliament. Okay, so whenever we have a very big decision to be taken, like emergency or this adding certain new territory to the India, to the territory of India, new land to the territory of India, we should not give, or the constitution has not given the right to government itself but the parliament. And now you should know why. Because executive can make mistake, executive has to take actions steps very in a fast paced manner, but who will decide that the action has been done good or not? Like in case of emergency, like we will read later that it is parliament who approves it, whether it should continue or it has been wrong done. Okay, a responsible government is a good government, and government should be responsible to whom? To the representatives of the people. And where do the representatives of the people sit? Twice or thrice a year, the parliament. Okay, parliament may by law admit into the union. May by law. What does this mean? May means if there is a need arise, parliament by constitutional amendment can add any land into the union, establish new states on such terms and condition as it thinks fit. Why so much wide powers? Why no certain clauses like this only can be done? You will also understand, whenever there is vagueness in the constitution, the power has been given to the parliament, not the government. Second article means how to admit into the union or establish new states. Means a state which is already in existence, a land which has a defined territory, a ruling government, and its citizens is a state. If India wants to keep that state as its part in its union, India can do that. Can do that. Or if India acquires a new land, it can also declare that as a state and can establish that as a new state and take it as a part of Union of India. Third is also known as redrawing the political map of India. Why? Because Parliament has been given a free hand, and in this particular case, no state can deny this. You will read that President has the power to consult the states, but that is only consultation. What the states say cannot be a recommendation, that is only consultation. It is up to the government, they want or not to listen to that or not. Okay. Third article says Parliament may by law A. Form a new state by separation of territory from any state by uniting two or more states, part of states uniting territory of part of any state. Increase the area, diminish the area, alter the area, alter name of any state. Forget everything. I'll tell you in 30 seconds. If I am the parliament, or like if we are the parliament, everybody, and we decide that certain state X and Y have to be merged to form a new state, we can do that. If certain state X has to be split, we can do that, form X1, X2. If a state, second state, half of this territory or maybe some portion of its territory, some portion of other state's territory must together created a third state, we can do that. Also, it is not here written, but it should be understood and it is very much clear. I have read all these things. A union territory and a state can be combined. Area of a state and area of a union territory taken out can be combined and formed a new state. So, in short, any permutation combination will work. Permutation is not right. Any combination will work. How? Who will decide? Parliament has the power to decide for itself what they want. In clear languages, whatever they want, they can make India look like that only. See, this is an exception, but this is not a power to the states, but just a consultation, provided that no bill for the purpose shall be introduced in either House of Parliament except on recommendation of the President and unless where the proposal contained in the bill affects the area boundaries. The states bill has been referred to President, legislature of the state for its this line. Legislature of that state means President will send that bill to that legislature to express its views, not to recommend anything, but to express its views. Means they will just say it is good or not, bad or not, but who will decide? Parliament. The states and union territories are, you can say, almost powerless in terms of their dependence on their land existence or name. Who can change? Parliament. But it should not be confused that if I am reading this in this sense, Parliament can go and thrash anything and remove, because there is a basic structure doctrine. Parliament cannot go on and do anything. There has to be certain limitations on everything. And also one important thing, this is also a political concept. Is India's parliament sovereign or not? I'm giving you time. Stop the video. I'll not give you time because is being recorded. Think for yourselves after stopping this. A, is India's parliament a sovereign? India is sovereign, but क्या इंडिया का पार्लियामेंट संसद बोलते हैं जैसे, is that sovereign? Yes or no? I'll tell you. No, it is not. Why? Because here we have a judiciary which can check its laws. It can even say that this law is not constitutionally valid. It can even sometimes declare a constitutional amendment invalid in specific cases which are related to basic structure doctrine. Nowhere in the constitution this word has been written that this is part of basic structure doctrine. This whole concept has been evolved by the judiciary over the years. Okay, so also let's see. I was telling you that Parliament of India is not a sovereign body. Okay, check for yourself which country's parliament is a sovereign body. I'll give you the answer. The answer is UK. Check for yourself why. Okay, sorry for disturbance. There is a phone call. I'll not take it. Class is more important. Okay. Also, one thing, if that state legislature does not say anything, the president will eventually say to the parliament that is not acting anything, not expressing its views. Go on, go ahead. You can do whatever you want. A very beautiful explanation or exemption. Here it is written that, see, in this article, A to E, state includes union territory, But in the proviso, state does not include a union territory. I have told you that when we are talking about merging states, taking land one state, land of another state, that word state also includes the term union territory. Why? Because government of India is supremely powerful in terms of parliament is supremely powerful in terms of redrawing the political map of India. So union territory are no exception. But why we are not including union territory in this particular proviso? Why? Because union territory is kind of dependent on the central government, I should say, or I should not say it as, because to make you understand, you should think in union territories, there is no governor, there is an LG or an administrator. Why? Because the ultimate governing authority for a union territory is the president itself, no other person. So, what I'm trying to convey to you is that a union territory is actually directly administered by the center. It can have its legislature, like in case of NCT, National Capital Territory of Delhi. Okay, they have legislature, but certain things are directly administered by the president through its officers. So in that case, why we are not giving power, this provision is not including union territories, because union territory legislature is there still, its powers are very much in control of the president, and president acts and does things according to what advice of the COM, Council of Ministers. Okay, so there is no need to take permission from a union territory in case of this particular thing, that is renaming its name or changing its boundary, maybe increasing or decreasing. Okay, let's see. The power conferred on Parliament by Clause A includes the power to form a new state or union territory by uniting part of any state unit. ये मैंने बता दिया. I've told you this thing. It's like redrawing the political map of India. It does not matter this thing is a union territory, this thing is a state, whatever it is. We can combine this, we can dissociate this, we can take its area, we can increase area, diminish area. Full power. To whom? Parliament. Fourth article. Any law referred to in Article 2 or 3 shall contain such provisions for amendment of the first schedule and fourth schedule may be necessary to give effect to provisions of the law and may also contain such supplemental, incidental, and consequential provisions, including provisions as to representation in Parliament and in the legislature of the states affected by such Parliament may be deemed necessary. This is, see, sometimes in articles, this is just an explanatory article. It says in Article 2 or 3, whatever the Parliament will do, this should not have been here, but it is here to remove any kind of ambiguity. If a Parliament is doing certain things, the Parliament is also capable enough, or the officers of the Parliament or the administrative machinery which uh, helps the Parliament, that is bureaucrats, are understanding enough to know that whatever they do will have certain effect on certain states and union territories. So in that bill only they have to address those issues. Here in fourth article it is specifically mentioned that it should contain certain things so that proper smooth functioning of that state and union territory should continue. I might not be sounding very much explanatory because this has nothing to explain. I will explain all those things, even the minutest details when it is necessary, but I will not explain certain things because these are just to be read and forgotten. This is more important. Why? Because this says no law as aforesaid shall be deemed to be an amendment of this constitution for the purposes of Article 368. What does this mean? Article 368 enables the constitution's amendment by whom? The Parliament. Also, only Parliament is allowed to amend the constitution. Okay, remember that. And which house can initiate the amendment of constitution? Both house can do. Both have equally same power. And what is the majority required in amending the constitution? Special majority. What is that? I'll explain you one thing. This is very much like like this has not been explained everywhere very fluently. There are many kinds of majority. We term everything as special majority, but everything has its specific purposes. Special majority, there are many types of special majority. One is effective majority. One is I'll explain this in this way. Present and voting 50% of present and voting. What is this known as? This is known as simple majority. If I say two-thirds of present and voting plus 50% of strength of the house, this is known as special majority. In which cases you comment in which cases it is used. And in third, two-thirds of the strength of house. This is the hardest to achieve, where it is used. And what is this effective majority? हाँ श्योर सर मैं ओवर कर देता हूँ ओके वी विल रिज्यूम द क्लास ओके थैंक यू सो मच see feedback, you have to give me feedback because I am new to this, and write anything, even if you do not like it, write anything on this.